Hello and welcome to the Dinosaw for week 46, another 7 curious, interesting things I saw last week. As ever, give us a like and share it and all that good stuff. Probably towards the end, don't do it now. However, the first thing is an ongoing story, shall we say. So this is in Mexico. This is what looks like a multimillionaire, Martin Mubarak, who is the CEO of a company called Frida NFT. And what he's doing here is burning an original Frida Kahlo sketch. This is apparently valued at $10 million. Now the point of this, he's already made a scan of it. He's therefore going to burn it, so therefore it does not exist anymore. If you would like to experience this artwork, the only way to do it is through buying an NFT, of which the profits will go to charity. Now I assume he's going to recoup his 10 million quid before that's where profits are hit. However, this is where it gets a little bit interesting, because the Mexican authorities, because this is where this is based, have got wind of this and are saying if that is a real Frida Kahlo sketch from 1944, then this is illegal, what you are doing, because you are basically destroying a national monument or a piece of artwork that is of national significant interest. And if it isn't a real one, then you're committing fraud, because obviously you're then trying to get people to spend money for something that doesn't exist. So either way, this is probably going to have quite an interesting ending. If you are an artist and you decide to burn your own artwork for NFTs, then that is absolutely fine, and we've seen that recently. But if you are burning a national treasure, probably not so cool. So watch that space. There you go. This is DevianArt, who, if you don't know who they are a long-standing community in the art world. I've been going for probably decades, actually. I've known them. So they now have their own image AI, or image generating AI, and this is called DreamUp, which is kind of curious because the art world is a little bit up in arms, shall we say, about this, because those image generator, the database that sort of sits behind that, has been scraped from the internet. So artwork on the internet has been used without permission to train these things. Now DeviantArt are very sort of careful to say that, you know, it hasn't been their knowledge to actively use DeviantArt artists' work on there, but you can be guaranteed that your artwork is probably in there somewhere. However, so lots of artists were up in arms about this, and therefore DeviantArt have then said, right, okay, we've got a bit of a solution to this. When you do upload your art to DeviantArt, you can say, please do not add this to the database by clicking a button. And likewise, if you're a web developer, they have created this sort of fledgling tag, which is called No Image AI or No AI, and you can put that into the header or the metadata of your website. So it's very similar to the no follow that you would put if you don't want the search engines to follow your links. So obviously this is going to need industry take-up to actually make this work, but it's a start. There you go. This is BMW's mixed reality experience. Obviously it pretty much says everything in the title. So this is somebody driving a car. In this case it's in Portugal in a BMW M2, which is a nice car. And on a very large car park. So what they see in the headset is a virtual version of a racetrack, and what they obviously see in reality is just them driving around a very large car park, not hitting things ideally. So this is really interesting. Is this the future of, you know, motor racing, where they're actually, you know, even if you have pass-through, you can see the road in front of you, but there might be augmented coins or something on the road, which might make people or drivers go into parts of the track that otherwise wouldn't get used, because there's a benefit to do that. Or, you know, even in reality, you get into your normal car, you put on your headset, and all of a sudden you have superhuman vision, because it can tell you all the things that are going on, when the traffic lights are going to change, and all those sorts of good things. So who knows? Just thought it was quite interesting. Go and have a look at the video. It's quite interesting. Twitter, I have to mention this obviously because it's been quite an interesting week of chaos. So if you've been living under a rock or in a cave, then Elon Musk obviously bought Twitter for $44 billion and wants to make it make money, quite clearly. So therefore he has been trying out a few things this week. One of the most notable things is the verification mark, which you can see against the company names there. He's now been selling for $8. Anybody could buy that, and by the way, you can already change your name to whatever you want on Twitter anyway. But obviously, if you're not verified, it's not you. But now it looks like you are verified. So lots of people clearly went out of their way to have some fun with this. So you've got Pepsi, fake Pepsi, saying Coke is better. You've got fake Nintendo, obviously with that image there. You've got fake Lockheed Martin saying that they're not going to sell arms to Saudi Arabia anymore. And you've got Eli Lilly, for instance, a drugs company who creates or sells insulin, not without controversy in that world anyway. Apparently everybody said, well, this is having real consequences, because you can see they've lost billions on their stock because it's gone down because of this tweet. Now it turns out there's actually stuff going on in the industry anyway, and that was probably not due to the tweet, but you can see how advertisers aren't best pleased about this, because you can imagine putting your brand in this space where anybody can impersonate it and have fun with it. So Elon Musk is trying on one hand to make money, but also to do that he needs to attract advertisers, and this is just chaos. So we have a new week ahead of us. Let's see what will happen. You can now not buy your checkmark for $8 anymore, so we'll see where that goes. This is, as I say, it's probably a little bit niche, but this is a VTuber, virtual YouTuber, also on Twitch, by the way. So this is Yuna Kang from South Korea, aka Code Miko, and this is her avatar. She uses an Xsense motion capture suit and has now got cool motion capture gloves as well, so can now actually do really cool sort of finger physics as well. And not only that, is it's using Unreal Engine, so just even the rendering power and the gravity and the physics of the Unreal Engine can also be brought to bear on her hair. So using the two together, you can now, or she can at least, kind of run her hands through her hair, and it looks awesome. So if you are a virtual YouTuber, then you probably need to step up your game a bit, because this is the state of the art. Really like that. I forgot to mention this probably last month, but the Gartner Emerging Tech Hype Cycle is out. If you don't know what this comes out once a year. Gartner are a research company, and they look at all sorts of stuff and they put it on this hype cycle. So it's not really what is actual, it's where the hype is at the moment. So if you don't know how this works, stuff is invented. Obviously it needs to exist before you can really have hype about it. So that's where the innovation trigger happens. People hear about it, think it'll be amazing, can do everything. That's where the peak of inflated expectations happens. Then they realize it isn't quite as cool as they thought it was, the trough of disillusionment. And then if you make it out of that, you go up the slope of enlightenment, and then you make it over to the plateau of productivity, and therefore you start making stuff. Obviously, things like NFTs, as you can probably guess, have been inflated, and now they're coming through to disillusionment. Things like Web3 are at the very top of that curve at the moment. Now, take this with a pinch of salt. A lot of people obsess about this and then say these are the trends. And quite frankly, what's going on in the real world isn't this, because this is literally the hype curve. So if you want to write an article, write it on the stuff on the left-hand side, and it probably will get published, because that's what hype is about. However, Gartner say there are three themes that they are following: evolving, expanding, immersive experience, i.e. metaverse, VR, and that sort of stuff; accelerated AI automation, i.e. how do you automate stuff using AI? We've seen image automation in this Dinosaw; and optimized technologist delivery. How do you actually form your company and your systems, your platforms, those sorts of things, and your workforce to deliver this sort of stuff? There you go. And finally, this is just kind of neat, weird. So this is actually from Palmer Luckey, who is one of the founders of Oculus. He's also a fan of Sword Art Online, which is kind of, I think it's a Japanese novel, sort of anime as well. And the plot is that people are trapped in a virtual world, and what they do in the game actually reflects on the reality. So if they die in the game, they die in reality. So there is a headset called the Nerve Gear, which if you die in game, then it releases microwaves into your head and you die. Obviously, Palmer couldn't actually figure out how to do the microwaves, so he's just actually put 3 explosive bolts on the front of an Oculus. Now this does actually work, apparently. This is a working model in that it uses a photoresistor or a photo detector to look for the flashing light of the game over sign. So it's not particularly sophisticated, but if it detects a sort of a certain frequency of flashing red light, then it blows the bolts and kills the person wearing the headset. So apparently this does actually work, but as he will say himself, he's not actually sure it's that accurate, so he's not tried it himself. So there you go, make of that what you will. Kind of interesting. Hopefully that was useful, hopefully it was interesting. If it was, give us a like, and try and share it with somebody amazing and enlighten their day as well. Other than that, I will see you next time.